I will be the first to admit that I love doing creative things with my children, but I do not love when my dining room table becomes piles of art supplies and half-finished art projects. If you also want to encourage more art time in your household without sacrificing your sanity, then this video is for you. My name is Megan, an art teacher and mom, and I give moms creative tools to cultivate a happy home and spend more meaningful time with their people. And in today's video, I just want to share a few pieces that I have around my house that specifically helps to contain the art chaos. So it makes everything a little bit more manageable, a little bit more orderly. I've definitely in the past mostly shared home renovations and DIY things on this channel, but lately I've been leaning more into sharing all of the creative rhythms in our household, how we manage and sustain it, and how I can make that accessible for other moms too. So we're starting in the dining room. My dining room table is actually over here because so much making happens here. A while ago on my blog, I shared a post about a travel art bin that I made to take camping with us. And that ended up living here. But after a while, I decided I got tired of staring at what was essentially a giant Tupperware bin with art supplies kind of strewn in. So I ended up replacing it with this wicker basket, which is literally just a scalloped open-ended basket. And it contains essentially the materials that I want to have easily accessible on a day-to-day basis. So we have kids' sketchbooks, click markers, some paints, glue, pencil, pens, really basic art supplies in my opinion, nothing crazy messy, nothing that my kids really need permission to do. They can set this up by themselves, not my 2-year-old, my 6-year-old. Often my 6-year-old sets it up for them. But everything in here is really easily accessible and quick for me to find. The other thing that lives over here, which actually typically is tucked behind this hutch, or what I just pulled it off of is my dog's crate. So these are called messy mats. And my kids know that if they are going to make art, a messy mat has to be down. And all these are a piece of poster board that I cut in half. And you can see they've been well loved. But so those are also easily accessible. So if I'm going to set something up, it's messy mat, grab the materials, go. So that makes my day-to-day a little bit easier, and it makes me feel like art is accessible for them and for me. Now, if you look up here, I do love framing a good piece of kid art. And this is actually a family portrait that my daughter drew 3 years ago when she was 3. And at the time, I was actually pregnant with a little girl that we ended up losing very unexpectedly at 20 weeks due to trisomy 16. But when she drew the picture, she included 2 babies. And I distinctly remember her telling me when I asked her, I was like, what is this other little part over here? And she said, oh, that's the other baby. Very nonchalant about it. And she now has a 2-year-old little brother. Our dog that has passed away last year is also pictured in here. She's this potato person off to the right. So this is obviously a very sentimental piece. It will be framed until I die. But on that note, I want to share another product that I really like that makes displaying children's artwork kind of a no-brainer. It just makes it easy. You can store stuff in there, you can change it out, and you don't have to put it on your fridge. Although we do have quite a bit of children's art on our fridge too, so I totally get that, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. This is just another option in case you want a more aesthetically pleasing or clean way to display your child's artwork. Okay, I have to show you this relatively quietly because I have a toddler sleeping behind this door. But these are one of the favorite things that I have on our walls. They are children's art storage frames. So you can display artwork, but you can also interchange what's being displayed because they open up. And then inside, they also store quite a bit of artwork. So there's about an inch of depth there where you can store artwork with those rubber bands that kind of hold it all in. And then I usually just use a little piece of tape to tape it onto the built-in mat in there. So not only is it a great way to obviously store artwork, but it also, to me, tells a story to our children, right? So when we display their work, what we're telling them subconsciously is, you made that, we love it, and you are an important part of our family. Important enough that we are framing what you made. We love you that much. So if you've ever been caught tossing your child's artwork, then you know that oftentimes their work is pretty closely tied to their ego. Or if you've seen that episode of Bluey where Bluey catches her mom replacing her artwork on the fridge with bingos, like she puts it right on top or takes it off or something, then you totally get what I'm saying. So these are a great purchase, I think. They look really nice on walls. There's nothing egregious about them. You can get them in different frame colors, slightly different sizes, and then you can also change the amount that come in the pack. So I bought a 3-pack, and there's one also in my daughter's room that was in the 3-pack. But this is great for us because I have a frame for each kid, and then they always know something that they've made is going to be displayed. And I think it's just a really important part of their development to see that that is important to us. Now, this next material is not necessarily an art material, but it is a creative material, and my children use them every day. So that is Magna-tiles, even though they piss everybody off, whatever. They keep coming back every day they play with them, even though they get mad when everything falls down or somebody knocks it over. But we play with them every day. So this is where I store them, and I've tried a couple different ways to store them. Originally, I had like a shallow wicker type basket, but it was really messy. The wicker would like fray and come off. And it was also light enough that they could dump it. So I have since replaced it with a really heavy, not really heavy, but much heavier leather, it's really pleather, vegan leather, if you will, basket, bin, I'm not sure what you want to call it, that fits under this side table. And they play with the Magna-tiles on the coffee table typically. And then also you can see now where my dining room table is and the art bin that I was showing you. This is a rental home. So if you look at this video like a year and a half from now, we probably won't be living here because we're a military family. So look at the original date. I might be in a completely different house when you see this, but remains the same. The Magna-tiles are the only toy that I allow in the living room. And then they play with it on the coffee table. And this is how I store it in this bin, which is super heavy because there's lots of Magna-tiles in them. So this is not really a dumpable bin. They have a hard time even picking it up. They usually just slide it off onto here and then pick out what they need. These are not the only creative materials I allow in my house. Obviously, I am an art teacher, so we have tons. But we have a whole nother section in the basement, but I think that deserves its own video. And there's already a video about my daughter's art making space in her room, which you should totally check out because I redid it recently. This is just what makes art easier on my main level. So how we create quickly and easily with less stress, where I store pieces that have just been made quickly and without stress, and then another creative material that we use and how we store it. If you're now wondering, like, what supplies should I even get? What do I need to keep on my main level? What's appropriate for my child? Then I would like to encourage you to go to the description of this video and download a free copy of my Ultimate Guide to Age-Appropriate Art Supplies, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a massive document full of links broken down by age as to what art materials I recommend as an art teacher and mom. So definitely pick up your free copy today, and I hope that these ideas help you sort of bring some more creative rhythms into your household in a way that is not messy, not chaotic, and not stressful.